This is a story that hits close to home. Talked about this a little bit on Crystal Kyle and Friends, but I want to do a separate segment on it. The Biden administration is expected to announce a proposed ban on menthol-flavored cigarettes this week, the Washington Post reported. The ban has long been sought by public health advocacy groups, and the administration is facing a Thursday deadline to respond to a lawsuit demanding that the Food and Drug Administration take action on a 2013 citizen petition seeking a menthol cigarette ban. The White House directed questions to the FDA, which declined to comment. The FDA's decision would not immediately ban menthol flavors, but would instead launch a rulemaking process that would likely take years. Any final decision would also likely be challenged in court by the tobacco industry. Okay, so they want to get the ball rolling and start the process of banning menthol cigarettes. So let's get a few things out of the way. First of all, are cigarettes dangerous? They're phenomenally dangerous. It's honestly one of the worst drugs out there. It's actually not the nicotine in the cigarettes, it's the endless carcinogens. There's so many carcinogens in cigarettes. So is it bad? It's bad. I smoked for at least 5 years, probably longer. My father passed away from lung cancer, probably brought about by the fact he was 2-pack a day kind of guy. He used to smoke Marlboro Lights like nobody's business. Having said all that, I disagree. I totally disagree with banning it. In 2009, they banned all other flavors except the regular cigarettes and menthol. So that there were all these, clever, whatever, strawberry cigarettes, pineapple cigarettes, so on and so forth. And they banned them. They banned them. And the reason was, we got to look out for the kids. Well, they were already banned for kids. So I'm not buying that, that's a good reason, because the thing you say you want is already the case. It's already banned for kids. Oh, but then kids can get them illegally underage. Okay, well then you better find a way to crack down on the people who are selling it to kids illegally underage. To take it away from adults because kids might use it, you could use that argument against anything. You could say we have to ban porn because we don't want kids seeing it. And it's like, okay, I don't want kids seeing it either, but that doesn't mean you ban it for adults. And if some kids happen to slip through the cracks and see it, find a way to deal with that specifically. You don't take it away from adults. So I felt the same way about the 2009 flavored cigarette ban. I think that's authoritarian. And I think this is authoritarian too. And it is the case that the menthol flavored cigarettes, it's mostly black people who like it. Now they would say, they were targeted in a racist way by the tobacco companies. But now you're also, what about black people who enjoy menthol cigarettes now? You're going to go take it away from them, and somehow, when tobacco targets them, it's racist, but when you take away something that a lot of black people like, that's not racist? I'm just trying to understand the logic here. What's the logic? Oh, but the cigarettes killed them. People know cigarettes are bad for them, and sometimes free adults choose to make the decision even though they know it's bad for them. People know cigarettes are bad for them, and some people still choose to smoke. So you don't like that, you can fuck off. It's not your decision. You don't have to smoke, but you shouldn't tell somebody else that they can't do it. So I think it's fucked up. And there is an argument. It is sort of anti-black, because menthol cigarettes, mostly it's black people who smoke it. And that's what the numbers show. By the way, I smoke menthols too. But, so why would you not, we're going to ban the regular flavored cigarettes now too. It's mostly white people who do that. Somehow those are getting left alone, but the menthol ones are getting taken away. All right, now let's dig a little deeper on this, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm in favor of zero regulation, because I'm actually a big proponent of regulation. I think the approach for this should be the same as the approach for drugs and prostitution and gambling. It should be legal, taxed, and regulated. So in the case of cigarettes, how would I regulate it? Well, Crystal Ball made a great point to me. She was like, the advertising is a huge problem, and you could just ban the advertising. Totally agree. I would definitely ban the advertising for cigarettes. A lot of it is restricted already. I'd go all the way, ban all advertising for cigarettes. What else would I... this is a side point, but I'd also ban Big Pharma from marketing their pills and running commercials. It's the weirdest thing in the world. And they already have that. That's already the case in most developed countries. There are no ads for drugs, like for medicine. If you want medicine, You go to the doctor, and then they give you the medicine. You don't ask for what you think you need or what you want. You're not a doctor, so it's just weird that Big Pharma runs ads. But anyway, I digress because that's a different conversation. I would totally ban the marketing. No problem with that whatsoever. The other thing I would do is I would add, just like they do, I think they do this in Canada and maybe in the UK, I'm fine with the regulation that shows all the illnesses that you can get from cigarettes right on the cigarette package. So you could show the pictures of the black lung and the cancer and how this is what happens if you smoke, dog. I'm just letting you know. Now, yes, that's a little invasive and it's a little in your face, but it's also true. So I'm in favor of people knowing all the facts and making informed decisions. And if you know all the facts and you choose to buy the cigarettes, fine. But I want you to know all the facts. And the facts are you're probably going to get emphysema or cancer or have some other health issue down the road, and here's what some of that stuff looks like. So I would do that regulation. I would ban advertising, put the effects of smoking right on the package. I would even be fine with limits in terms of how much you could buy at any given time. I know that seems weird, but it's a regulation that I don't think is unreasonable. So there's a number of things I do. I would even go as far as to say, if the government wants to regulate some certain carcinogens out of cigarettes, like, because I don't even remember the number. It might be hundreds of carcinogens in a cigarette. If you say, hey, we're going to take the worst ones and regulate them out. And so, cigarettes are still cigarettes, but maybe the formula changes just a touch and it's a little bit safer than it was. Because there are cigarettes that some companies sell that have way fewer carcinogens in them. And they sort of push it based on that fact. I'd be fine with the government regulating out the worst carcinogens in a lot of these cigarettes. But where I definitely draw the line is don't say they can't make them whatever flavor they want to make them and people can't consume whatever flavor they want to consume. Because I think that's authoritarian and that's big government making decisions for you that you should be able to make yourself. So I don't agree. I don't agree with this move. I think I find it so fucked up that we live in a country where they don't provide us with health care. We don't have universal health care in this country. We don't even have guaranteed vacation time. We don't even have guaranteed maternity leave. So in so many ways, the government and society puts their middle finger up to us and says, fuck you. We don't care about you. But then when you find some little thing that gives you pleasure, like smoking, knowing it's bad for you, but you chose to do it, the government steps in and says, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you have the flavor that you like. I'm not going to let you do it. So the same government that tells me, hey, fuck off, I'm not going to give you health care when every other developed country gives their citizens health care. The same government that doesn't give you guaranteed paid vacation time or guaranteed paid maternity leave. The same government that has a minimum wage that's not even a living wage, they're going to turn around and pretend to care about you, and I care about you so much, I'm going to stop you from having the thing you want to have because it's not good for you. No, I can't abide by that. That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Don't tell me to fuck off in 1,000 different ways, and then when I find something I like, all of a sudden you pretend to care about me? Fuck out of here. So anyway, I'm happy I quit smoking. It is terrible for you, but you got to let people make decisions for themselves. I mean, it's really no business of the government. And it just strikes me as a waste of time, waste of energy, and there are so many better other regulations that can be done for cigarettes. And this one is just fucked up and anti-freedom.